everybody. We are just making sure we're good to go. Yeah, if you would come up there, Kate.
Yeah.
Okay,
This
yeah.
Test. Are we good?
Hello, yes.
Hello.
Okay, we're live right now, everybody. We're just letting people jump on for a few minutes.
And we are glad you're here.
Yeah, we'll get started at 1. It's 12:58.
I think you wanted to pull it up on here.
Yes, so we're gonna actually watch during this, and we'll say this again later, so that we can see if you guys send us any comments or questions on there. Where's Facebook on here?
Yes, or check in and tell us where you're watching from. That would be fun too.
Yeah.
Well, that's always a great question. Here it is.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay, and we're going to obviously be teaching you how to make scones today, so we're very excited. And hope everyone's doing well in the craziness, in the midst of everything that's happening. Okay, now where is the live video on here?
Yep.
Yes.
My coronavirus warnings.
Oh, I guess I go all the way to the page.
Oh,
here it
there
is.
we are.
Now we are up and down on here.
Oh. Well.
Now, if
Can
you
you
turn
see
your
us this
phone
way?
side to side, you should be able to watch us.
Yeah, that makes. And we are apart.
We are social
Apart.
distancing.
Apart together. We are an entire rolling pins length
Hey,
apart.
Casey! Casey's on. Okay, Catherine Barry's watching.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Okay, so
That's
let's turn the
delay,
volume
okay.
down on this, so that's good. Oh, what have I done? Did I take a picture? How do I turn the volume down?
Volume is
Oh,
here.
okay.
We can make scones for sure though.
Okay, is it one? Okay.
No, I meant our capabilities.
We can make scones. Okay, so
Can't do
we're
my
gonna wash our hands just to get
Yes.
started, and so we're going to begin in now that it's 1. So hello everyone, and welcome to our first live workshops for 50 plus.
Yes, we are so excited to be. I just washed mine. Do you want to
Yeah,
wash
I'm
yours?
gonna wash mine if you want to
We
explain
are,
what those scones thing they got.
Oh, I'm still a little wet there. So anyway, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kate Wheaton. I am with First United Methodist Church in Montgomery, and I am our Director of Hospitality there. And just with Adrian.
Yes. I'm Adrian Borden, and I am the Director of 50 Plus Ministries. And we had a scones workshop set up for April 23rd, and it looks like that's not going to happen, so this is just a little piece of that.
We thought we would just pull a component of that to share with you. We are, we've had to cancel so many things, and I know we've all been disappointed of things in our own lives through our church, but we just wanted to reach out and just try something new. So for me, this is new.
Yes.
So we are going to walk through and see if we can have some fun together. But we wanted to tell you that we miss you. We are missing our families, our church families, our friends.
Mm-hmm. And missing just having that fellowship together. So we're hopeful that this will kind of connect us all. We can see your comments on here, and we can see who's gotten on. Marianne Haggerty Fossey, you need to turn the phone, y'all are sideways. Okay, so if you will turn, Alyssa, you can speak into this. I see you're watching. If people will need to turn their phones and their
Because of our social distancing, we can't turn the phone the other way and still keep ourselves in that frame. So hopefully you can figure out how to make us the right way up. So we'll watch for a minute or two to see if that's happening.
Yes, and we have a pretty extensive setup here with lights and tripod and our little cheat sheet. So we'll go ahead and get started, and
Sounds good.
just by saying hello. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
hello. And like so many of you, we are working from home. We're working from my home today. So welcome to my kitchen. We are going to try and see what we can come up with for you to do. We've got just a quick little devotional that we thought of. This is actually a fun calendar that I was given, and it just happens that today, March the 30th, seems like a good one.
Yes. It says, "Be glad for all God is planning for you. Be patient in trouble and prayerful always." That's that's Romans 12:12. And I think Kate thought this would be a good one because it talks about being patient in trouble.
Yeah,
And prayerful, because we really feel like we don't have control over everything that's happening with COVID-19, and it's really scary. We don't know when we'll be able to go back to normal, if there will ever be that same kind of normal again. So it's a good time to be prayerful together.
That's for sure. That really is. So, okay, well, if you're cooking along with us, perhaps you have got some ingredients together, and while we have been talking, we certainly have put our oven on. So if you are cooking, or if you're watching this later, this is a timely reminder, because you need a pretty hot oven. We're looking for that 475. So that takes a few minutes if your oven is anything like mine, just to get cranked up to go.
Yes, and if you'd like to, go ahead and line your baking sheets with parchment paper. How many baking sheets do people need, Kate?
Well, we've given ourselves 2 each. That's room to space it out. And you know, and if you're working with some children, or you're working with your grandchildren, which we hope you are, that you can find somebody to make this with, then obviously you've got lots of room to get that done. And if you don't have baking paper, we've got baking parchment. You can just go on and use a pan spray, and if you don't have that, you can just use a vegetable oil and a piece of paper towel to wipe over the top. That is all fine. I know we're all struggling to find the things that we need all the time, but there are always alternatives, it would seem.
Yes, so, and Alyssa has addressed the turning. It says, viewers, if you will lock your phone orientation, it should allow you to turn your phone sideways without the video flipping on you. Thank you, Alyssa.
Ah, perfect. Yes. Okay. So,
and before we begin, I just have one quick question. My parents asked me, because they're watching along. Hey, parents.
Hey.
Can you halve this recipe if you don't want quite so many scones?
You can halve it. The question with halving is the 3-egg question.
Yes.
You know, so you would figure out half an egg. You would just figure out half an egg to halve it. But what I will mention, we were going to mention later, is it freezes beautifully. So if you want to just go ahead and get it done, and then bag it up in small Ziploc freezer bags so that you can just pull out a few at a time, that might be an easier one for this particular recipe. Now, there are lots of recipes online, and once you've sort of seen the basic way that we put the ingredients together, you can just branch out and find a recipe that perhaps works for you.
Perfect. That's actually exactly what I told them, not the egg thing, but I said they freeze wonderfully.
They do.
Kate says. So what would Kate do? That's a good question to ask.
Well, that is good. And you know, today we're using, I have it in this little packet here. I hope you can all see this. This is a sweet scone recipe. It is still on the handwritten piece of paper that it first came to me on from a sweet friend at Maxwell, and I have loved it. And friends of mine, you will have eaten these scones probably more than once. They are a good one. The recipe is actually just a plain scone without flavorings in it. It's just got a small amount of sugar, and you are going to load that thing with jam and cream. There's really not a lot of need to put stuff in, so don't worry if you don't have anything to, you know, enhance it perhaps. We, on the other hand, are just going to show you that it is possible to mix that up. Adrian and I are both making a full quantity, and I'm going to add some dried fruits to mine. I just had whatever was in the pantry. I have some apricots, I have some cranberries, I actually have some of that fruitcake mix left from something I was doing at Christmas, and I've gone ahead and squeezed a little orange juice over that. Well, actually, I didn't actually have an orange, so I squeezed a satsuma, but you could put a slug of orange juice. You know, not enough to make it wet. There's no actual juice, but just a little bit to give it plump up that fruit a little bit.
Yes, and then
Adrian.
I've got olives and cheese and a bit of cayenne.
Absolutely. And again, if you don't, we've got black sliced olives. If you've got green olives, if you've got Kalamata olives, if you don't like olives, you can just put the cheese in. We've got a plain cheddar. You can just use whatever takes your fancy. You could put Parmesan, Smith.
And I'm doing the one sans sugar. There's no sugar going into mine. But if you're
right.
doing the plain scones, you'll do it like Kate, but no toppings. Is that right? No added.
Mix-ins, exactly. So we're just going to talk through what we've got in our bowls. So we've got our 2 pounds of plain flour, 900 grams, and that is a certain number of cups, which it probably says in your recipe
I know,
below.
you know how many cups.
You've got this. And we're using a unbleached flour, which I prefer because they're just not so processed. And then we have got, you might want to unwrap yours.
Oh,
We've got 6 ounces of unsalted butter. And you can see in there, I have cut that into little tiny cubes to make it easier to rub in.
There you
And I've chosen unsalted because then I can govern how much salt that I put into my mixture. And if you don't want to add salt, you know, if you're concerned about that, you don't need to add any at all. But I've got, even with the sweet scone, I've got a small teaspoonful of salt.
Yes, and I'm just going to read off the ingredients really quickly so that you know exactly how much of each thing to use, since I neglected to bring my list. It's 8 cups of all-purpose flour, and Kate in a minute will tell you why self-rising won't work, because she had to explain to me. 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter, 3 eggs,
Oh yes,
a pinch of salt,
we're pinched.
1/4 a cup of sugar in her recipe, but not the savory,
Yeah, so 2 ounces of sugar.
and 3 heaping teaspoons of baking powder, as well as 6 tablespoons of milk, which is also, 15 ounces of milk, or 1.5 cups and 6 tablespoons of milk. And that's because this is an English recipe. We had to translate everything.
Yeah, sorry people. But, you know, I was a stickler for this recipe. So we're going to go ahead and just crack our eggs, Adrian, so that we have those ready to go.
Okay.
And as I say, it's a super easy recipe. It's super child friendly. My children used to love cracking eggs.
I do enjoy it. It is satisfying.
It is satisfying. And hopefully you can get eggs. I think when I was at the supermarket this week, it wasn't quite so dire as it was last week, but it does seem to be a little hit and miss.
I was able to get flour at the store, all purpose.
Well, that's good. Perhaps people are stocked up now.
Maybe.
So, we'll let Adrian catch up with her
I'm
egg
so
cracking.
slow with my egg cracking.
You were the
Okay.
best. You were the best.
Okay.
Okay, so we're caught up. So, into our bowl of flour, we are going to add our baking powder.
Okay.
There it goes. And I'll take your empty one if you
Thank
like.
you.
We collect this way. We have the plant strategically placed to hide
Hide
the
dishes.
washing up.
But you don't have to hide yours.
do
You guys
not.
make as big of a mess as you would like to.
I have sugar, and if you have sugar, you're going to go on and add yours in. Adrian,
And I'm
let me
not.
know. You are one step ahead there. I'm going to use salt, as are you.
Here's my pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt. And you know what? You might just want to go on and add, we've got a pinch of cayenne pepper to go in hers to bring out the flavor of the cheese and just give it a bit of a kick. If you don't have cayenne, you maybe want to put a little, you could put smoked paprika, you could put some fresh jalapenos, you could leave it out, you know, just something different. I think the best thing is, you know, while you have a recipe, it's nice to know that you can make adjustments. So my bowl is a little yeah.
So you're not
snug
making this up,
yours.
you're just making your well.
So now we're just making a well. Actually, no, we don't need to make a well. I got ahead of myself.
We're
We're
gonna
going to get
put
our butter,
Okay.
and we are going to tip our butter in.
And is this when we do toppings too? After
No,
the butter is done?
after the butter.
Okay.
So we're going to do our butter first.
Okay, butter.
And we've chosen, I do have a big mixer here, and probably many of you do too. At this point, you could put all of this in the mixer and just turn your mixer on and make it into breadcrumbs sort of texture is what you're looking at. And I have a Cuisinart at the back. That would do the same thing. But we thought it would be fun to just go on and rub this in.
Yes.
So, you know, it's relaxing, takes a bit longer if you want to do it as an activity. And it really is quite relaxing, really.
Yes, it is. And if you may be wearing gloves, we're not.
We're not.
We just made our hands really, really clean, knowing that the scones will get very hot in the oven.
And then, exactly. And then when we get them out of the oven, then we'll use our gloves so that we're not touching something that people are actually going to eat straight away.
And in this
So-
video, I'm representing you as the learner, but I cheated the other day on Thursday. I came over to Kate's house and we practiced, so I already know how to squeeze this butter.
She is an advanced novice at this point.
That I'm not really excited about this, and I've done it once now, so
Yes,
I
we've
kind of know what I'm
squeezed.
doing. But it is very satisfying.
Yes, and we really are. Look, we're kind of crushing. Can you see those? Let's come a bit nearer. Those. I don't want it to make it look like I'm not doing anything. You know, we're really squeezing those lumps at the moment to break them up, and proportionately to the amount of flour, you know, there isn't a lot of fat. And I should think to some of you this feels quite similar to making a biscuit.
James said, what time are we doing low T today?
Oh, James, pop round. Yeah.
Tracy Carver is watching from the UK.
Tracy, hello. I'm so glad to see you. She's my children's godmother.
Yes. And then, Nimrod Lancaster said, watching with Mother and Pa, but I can't understand a word. Well, I'm sorry, Nimrod. What we can do is after this video has posted is I can share a transcript with you.
Okay, that's my brother. Is that because we are unclear and that I have developed a southern accent, or is it because we are not loud enough? So that is my parents and my brother and sister-in-law who are together tonight, and of course we were, I actually had got some travel plans, so we were expecting to be together. I would like to be eating fish pie with them too tonight.
But thank you for tuning in, guys.
Glad you guys are here. So anyway, we are still squeezing.
This is the most tedious part, you guys. Don't worry.
Yes, but you know, we were talking about anxiety, which is a thing on Sunday.
Jay, the Marmite is coming. We promise.
Oh, I have it. Look, I'm even going to break protocol. Look.
Julie, no, we have not added the eggs to this
I haven't
mixture.
forgotten you. Okay, not yet. We are still at the basic stage. This is the slowest bit.
Yes.
So we could sort of ramp it up a bit now.
This is just flour.
And butter.
The salt, the sugar for Kate, the cayenne for me.
Yes.
The butter. We have not added eggs. We have not added toppings on my end.
No, we are at the beginning.
Yeah. So, or the milk.
No.
So
we're there. And I feel like I'm making progress in mine. How do you feel in yours?
Oh, Nancy said, please no Marmite. And then Tracy Carver said, oi, what about us from home? And Jay asked, fish pie next week?
Yes,
well, we've got plans for next week.
Maybe
the next week.
Next
we can
week.
do fish pie.
Oh, we could talk about that right now. We were thinking of doing a sweet potato chili next week. We're thinking about your pandemic pantry and the fact that we've all got a lot of canned things that perhaps are not always part of our repertoire, but I'm sure most of you have bought some sort of canned beans.
Yes.
Sweet potatoes are easy to come by. Most of those things should probably be in your store cupboard, and we'll put a list up.
And I am selfishly
what do
have
you
begged
think?
Kate to make this because her sweet potato chili is so good. So
Yes.
I'm personally hoping that she'll decide to do that for us.
Yes.
But let us know in the comments what you think, and also please take pictures of your work from home and post in the comments. We are dying to know
Take some pictures of
what
yourself,
you're
watch
doing.
it. Okay.
Okay, I'm feeling good about
Are you
this.
feeling good about this? So if you want to know if you've got all your lumps, you know, the trick is give it a bit of a shake. And yeah, easier said than done. And then hopefully it'll stay in the bowl and your big lumps will come to the top. So really, we're probably about there. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect.
Mine looks pretty good.
Okay, good. All right. I feel good too.
Okay.
I have an excuse for making so much mess because my bowl is smaller than your bowl.
Yeah, I got an advantage.
We are going to wash our hands.
Yes.
I feel, because
Time
that's
to wash our hands.
We're going to switch sides.
And you guys, let us know. We're thinking about, I haven't talked to Kate about this yet, but what about if we made a logo for our workshops with a little ditty on the ukulele that plays at the beginning of our videos? What do you all
Okay,
think?
Joel, you win the bet. Yeah.
What?
We said there's going to be a way to incorporate a ukulele into the cooking workshop. Right.
They know me too well.
Cup of tea is always welcome. A cup of tea with a scone is delightful. So I am going to go on and put our kettle on so that once we're done, we can have a cup of tea together.
Yes. Perfect.
Right, the next stage, if you haven't cracked your eggs, go on and crack your eggs.
Okay.
We're going to lightly whisk those together and incorporate with your milk. Now, as you can
Pour a
see,
little milk into it?
you're actually going to go the other way around.
Okay.
I
my eggs
have
into
not
my
given myself a big enough bowl, so
Okay. So I'm putting my eggs into my milk slowly?
no, just plop it all in. And I'm just going to reuse my butter bowl because that will work
Would you
just
like?
fine.
No.
No, I'm good. But I'll take that for
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay.
Okay, and then comes the well in the center that you were remembering earlier.
Yes.
So this is just the little messy bit. So make a well in the middle, and you are going to put all of your wet ingredients into the middle, and you're going to use the fork that you whisked with to amalgamate that together.
Okay.
So if you've ever made pancakes, you know, where you bring the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. You get all of that in there.
Okay. I just feel
You
so
are doing-
awkward.
you are doing
Kate is
such
so
a great
good
job.
at this, and I just like feel like such a dodo.
Yes, you're doing great. You're doing great too.
You're all doing so great.
doing so great.
And Kate told me to mind not to over.
Yes,
stir
don't
this.
over stir. I mean, just get it done, but don't. You can see that baking powder and the milk and the eggs already reacting together there.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning to make some bubbles. And there'll come a point at which your fork is no longer useful and your nice clean hands are going to go into that mixture.
Can you see that, everybody?
Yeah.
There's a delay on our video, so I can't tell.
So I think I've reached that point myself. So I'm going to clean off my fork.
Right. Okay.
Right. With the recipe. I'm just going to slide your cutters around you.
Okay.
And I am going to unwrap you at the same time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Unwrap
should
you.
have done that.
Well, easier said than done, actually. Oh, that looks so good.
Oh, good.
Yes, you're pretty much to the point where you're going to have to put your hands in there too. So.
Okay. Clean off my fork. Don't get any of that goodie lost.
Mhm.
Do I put this in there?
Yep, okay, good.
Okay. Do I need to get in there?
So now we've got a little flour to dust with.
Perfect.
Well, I'm just going to take care of myself here. So dust your work
I
surface.
hope you had a good birthday, Kate. Yes, yesterday was Kate's birthday. She turned 35.
Yep.
Nancy, we are loving this girl's lots of laughs.
Oh, good.
And Wileen said we're fabulous. Well, thank you, Wileen.
Wileen, can you understand me? Trying to be super clear.
Can any of you
I
understand?
hope you can all understand us.
Okay.
You know, because we do want you to know what we're saying.
So I need to do what you're doing. I need to get this phone.
Yes.
I'm
I'm just
Is this
incorporating.
just too unsightly if I put it right there? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Where's Winston? He's at the vet. He's playing with the other doggies.
He's
today.
got a doggy daycare. Gosh, I was glad that there was doggy daycare today. Because he is quite the helper in the kitchen. He is a taste tester like no other.
He's a little sweet.
Okay, that looks a mess, and perhaps yours looks a mess too, but don't panic. It might feel slightly wetter than you feel like it should. And to be honest, if you incorporate a little of that extra flour that you've put on the work surface, that's fine. Now, while I'm moving it around, I am being very gentle. You may not be able to tell that. We don't want to get rid of all those lovely bubbles that we've created with our...
Okay.
Ooh,
This is
gosh,
so
yes.
awkward. Oh my God.
Something like making something on a live video.
I know.
For the
How about,
first
I gotta
time.
move that phone. I'm blocking the view here. Am I not?
Might be fine.
How about if I put it right
How
there?
about you block mine?
No, I'm putting it in the middle.
All right.
Okay.
Lots of flour. Okay, here we go. Mine seems to have found its voice.
Mine not so much. We're getting there.
We're
We're gonna get there together, team.
And really, you put your hand under and you lift and pat, lift and pat. So
I was doing that.
soft, just soft. And there it goes. Okay.
And
Now.
if you're baking along with us, you can't send us comments. That just occurred to me.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
you've got
that's
this
true,
stuff
because
on
you
your
might
hands
do
too.
the sticking. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands while Adrian catches up for a second.
Yes, and I'm.
You are doing well. And just so you may see if you feel like you need a little help, I'm right here.
Well, I think it's just there's just a little bit of moisture, and that's what I'm trying to. Is this starting to look good?
Yeah, that looks wonderful.
Okay, good.
you
Okay, am
wanna
I gonna
wash
make
your-
a circular thing?
Yes. So maybe if I just help you get it, I'm just going to pat it around and under.
Oh,
Really, you
good,
can scoop
okay.
it under like that.
Oh,
Just
okay.
give it a little.
Let's see.
There it goes.
Great.
Those are good. Those little bits, as long as you've got flour over the top.
Yeah,
All right. Now Adrian's going to wash up.
I can.
Now she has a rolling pin and we have some cutters for her. I know not everybody has that, so I am going to do it without. So you're going to want to, if you don't have those things, you just want a knife. And what I'm going to do for mine is I'm going to go ahead and cut it into 4 big pieces. It's a little easier to maneuver. We actually want to pull our baking sheets forward.
Yes.
Oh, and you know what? We had so much fun talking to you that you know what we didn't do?
Add my topping.
We didn't add our topping.
Oh no!
Because we are amateurs. Well, one of us is an amateur. So what you would have done is after you put your egg and your milk in, you would have put your toppings in. And then you would be rolling out fruit and cheese scones.
Yes.
But it's all good. We are going to come up with a master plan to do that next time. But you see, it's okay if it doesn't go right.
Yes.
It's still going to be good.
It's still gonna be delicious.
So, okay.
So these are, no.
Those are not so much. So
Okay,
I'm
there's
tapping
cayenne.
my 4 pieces.
There is cayenne in there.
That's going to be yummy. And you know what we can do? We can add some cheese to the top when we glaze them.
Okay, perfect.
So we are going to wing it on that.
Okay, and I'll have the cheese back.
And as I had said, the traditional recipe does not have anything in it, and so, you know, we've just gone back to basics.
That's right.
It's going to be good.
Am I rolling this?
You are rolling.
Okay.
Not too thick, and just roll away from you.
Yes.
Not, you know, don't steamroller it. Just nice and lightly roll away
And you
from
bring
you.
it back,
Mhm.
roll again.
Exactly. And I am patting my circle out.
And why is it that you don't want to go back and forth? You don't want it to get too flat.
You don't want it to get too flat, and you don't want to get carried away. You know, when you roll like this, you can be a little more heavy-handed. You take your time a little more when you do that.
Yes.
And you also want to stop and maybe just make sure it hasn't completely stuck to the work surface. There we go. Give it a quarter turn. Okay, and I
great.
go again. So then I've patted into a small circle, and I'm going to cut it like a piece of pie. And I'm going to do triangles.
Perfect.
And they do look messy, but they won't be. They will be eclectic
How's my
and delicious.
height? Am I good to start cutting or?
Yes, that's lovely.
Okay, great. And I'm going to dip my cutter in some flour.
Yes, that will help tremendously.
It will help a lot. I'm going to do the scallop side because that's cute.
That's right. And then the little rule of thumb for cutting is you don't want to put it down and twist it, because then your scones, when they grow, will, you know, they'll go in a funny direction.
So push the cutter down with the flour and
then straight up.
then pull it straight up. And in theory, hopefully your scone comes up with the cut, but
Yes.
that keeps not happening for me. So I'm just spacing these out. And how far apart do they need to be? Is this a good?
I would do 3 by 5. You probably
Okay.
get 15 on there.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, they do look a bit sad, but they're going to be perfect.
They're going to be
beautiful once they
delicious.
come out the oven, that's
Yes.
for sure. And then I am choosing just to dust some plain flour over the top of mine. Okay, and if you just bear with us, when you see this done, it's going to look pretty good.
You'll be
So-
covered in flour, but it will look good.
I'm going to stick these ones in. We might actually put the timer on it again.
Oh, good. And the kettle is still heating up.
Oh,
This
yes,
is
the kettle
perfect
is
with
going.
tea, for tea time.
And you know, I would like to say that we didn't make this mistake in rehearsal, but I did make this mistake in rehearsal, and I forgot to put the
We did.
raisins in. And we cheated that way, and I'm going to cheat a little now. We put a little handful in, and we just folded it over, and we just went with it, and it seemed to work out just
It
fine.
did. It worked out great, and they were delicious. And
If we hadn't told you weren't supposed to do that, you might not know.
that's right. So you can cheat now if you want to, everybody. If you had toppings you wanted to put in, this is a good time to
This is
do
a good
that.
time for cheating.
And I am. Is this a good distance?
Those look fantastic.
I have room
Adrian,
for two
you're a
more of this.
natural.
Oh, I don't know about
You
that.
are a natural. Okay.
Okay, looking
But
good.
you know they are
Penny
supposed to
said.
look homemade, so this is good.
Oh, Penny, you found us! Yay!
Hey Penny. Hey.
Tara, you
Oh,
should be
hey, Tara.
hungry. And Penny says it's looking good. Wileen says, when do we get to taste? Well,
you
you'll
do,
see.
girls. You do.
You'll see. You'll see. Okay, these are ready to go in.
All right, they're not ready to go in.
They're not ready to go in.
Not.
We gotta put cheese on them.
Surprisingly, we're going to put
The egg wash and the
egg wash and
cheese.
some cheese on the top.
Okay.
Yes. Let me slide mine in.
They're not ready.
They're not.
So I've got this egg wash here that we pre-prepared.
And it's literally just an egg that we've beaten together.
One
And we
egg.
put a tiny pinch of salt in because that helps break down the protein in the egg and makes a smoother egg wash.
Yes. So I've got this little handy dandy brush and I'm just going to wash, wash, wash with the egg. Yes, I am. I'm washing with the egg.
And you maybe don't need to see us do lots of these, so I'm going to pop this to one side.
But if we were going to cheat now, we would have put the cheese in the olives and just folded it into the
Yes.
other one.
But you know, a good second choice is going to be to put this egg wash on, and then I'm going to let Adrian do this and stop interfering, but she's going to put just a little sprinkle of cheese on each one.
Cheese.
And while she does that, I'm going to use my knife just to scrape down our work sample so that we can move on to something we prepared earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The magic of television.
Time for tea.
Time for tea. Yes, having echo. Gosh, we've got quite a lot of flour.
I am making as big of a mess as possible, not on purpose.
No.
Okay, this is ready to go in. Shall
Okay,
I
would you like to pop it in the
pop it
bottom
in?
oven?
Sure.
Yes. And we'll just leave the timer. We set the timer, it's 8 to 10 minutes. It's an incredibly hot oven. So just keep an eye on it. I know everybody's oven has a little quirk. Mine seems to heat from the bottom a little more vigilantly than it does from the top.
And
So,
we turned our backs for 1 minute the other day and almost
yes.
let the scones burn, but actually they turned out really well. I will be visiting Fraser 50 Plus soon. Good, Tamara, that's good.
Little
Fraser 50 Plus, tell us more about that. Tamara, maybe you can send me a Facebook message because I don't know a lot about Fraser's 50 Plus. About how thick are they?
They are about
Around. How thick around?
what size is our
we use a
cutter? Our
3-inch.
cutter is the original recipe is a big cutter. We've chosen to do a smaller cutter for our scones, and this one I would say is a 2-inch cutter.
Julia Child keeps singing. Oh, Susan. I'd rather hear you sing, actually. That's Susan Cooper.
Oh,
She's a
Susan
beautiful
Cooper.
singer.
Hello.
How thick are the scones when you roll them out? Well, for me, it was about like that.
A good inch. You know, fatter is better.
And then how hot?
It's 4. Let's just double check. 475.
475.
Or for anybody who's outside the country, it's 250 degrees
Yes.
Celsius, or it's
Yes.
gas mark 9. So you've got
Yes.
lots of choices. All right, that is clean as a whistle.
Looks great.
We've had a little disinfectant on there. We're going to get rid of that cloth and start a new one.
Sorry, I'm having to bend sideways to read these guys. We
Ooh,
will work
you're
on our
doing
setup
wonderful.
before the chili.
All right.
Oven temp 475. Skip. Good question. Oven temp 475, and you can use parchment paper or you can spray your pans. I'm trying to remember if there's anything I said before people were
Yes.
hopping on.
Is anybody cooking with us?
Yes, are people baking with us? 475. Thank you, Kate. She shared. And yeah, the tea is an essential part of the scone baking and eating process that really shouldn't be skipped. So hopefully you all have the ability to have some coffee or tea with your scones after they're done. Ours are in the oven now. Did you set a timer? Do I need to set a
I
timer?
did set a timer.
Okay, great.
And in the meantime, we've
Look
got
at
our
this,
little
how
tea
beautiful.
for 2. So we've got our tea, and while that brews for a hot minute, let's just move these. And
Okay.
I was going to show you a little setup idea on how to serve your scones.
Kate has such an eye for decor and the way things should be set up. She's just a genius.
Look, this was my stress relieving candle. I think it was.
I feel stress relieved.
Yes, and a cup of stress relief, that helps. And a cup of tea always does the trick. We have milk. Neither of us are sugar girls. I think we're going to have enough sugar. So,
Yes.
we are going to do a fun little setup
Yay!
for you to see. So,
Julie is, I'm still rolling mine out. Oh.
Julie, you're doing a great job. Keep going.
Yes, and whoever's writing for Julie, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
And then you'll just
Julie's
keep
saying she's
going
still
and
rolling.
stamp. And I think at this rate, we've got 2 more minutes on our top ones. We did think we wouldn't have time for them to come out the oven, but you know, we're quite chatty.
And Mary Ashley has said she's sewing face masks while we're cooking. Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
We actually have a group that started knitting and getting together every week called In Stitches Creative Fellowship. And we are trying to mobilize that group to make masks also, Mary. So I'm glad you said that, because we want everyone to know that we do have orders for these masks that have a pocket where you can put a filter in or another piece of material that's going to filter out any toxins, hopefully. And people do prefer that their masks be made with ties so that they don't get busted up in the dryer.
Right. Although
So-
really a lot of them are just grateful for whatever
Anything,
comes. I know
yes.
some have got elastic, and you know those are super good too. We've got nurses in our family, and I know Penny is busy making masks for her daughter. She's in Savannah.
The tea setup is beautiful, isn't it, Penny?
Oh, so now we were just going to talk a little bit about how to present that. So it was so fun practicing the other day, but here we go. So these are some of the scones that we made the other day, and you can see this is our little triangle guy. He just looks so super cute. And then these are our more traditional ones. But for afternoon tea for your girlfriends.
Do you want me to come in closer?
Yeah, do you want to come closer?
Sure.
And we hope that you'll do this for, you know, with your children, with your grandmother, and even if it's something that you can't share together right now, hopefully you are going to be able to put this under your hat and do this together, because, you know, it's quite a lovely tradition. So there's our scone. We decided to use, I have these sweet little demi-tasse, so we have our whipped cream and strawberry jam to go on there. I don't have lemon curd today, Nikki. I know that you were interested in lemon curd, but we're going to put those there. And then we are just going to add a few fresh berries to give that some texture and to pop out the colour of the scone, and a little fresh one there. So that's our little afternoon tea there.
How cute. And it smells so good in here too.
So good. And then, to be honest, these cheese scones make a nice little appetizer for an evening, an adult evening. So you can make them smaller, and you can put 2 or 3 on here. These are some of the ones we made last week. I've got a goat's cheese mixture here that we've put together. We've just put some, gosh, what have I put? Some cracked pepper, some cracked red pepper, and some herbs from the store cupboard. I didn't have anything beyond that to go together. And then perhaps, you know, if you've got fresh basil, I actually think this is lemon balm because that's what I had. But you get the gist of it. The idea being that you'd put just a little fresh something there to give that a pop. And then that's just fun to sit out for you to eat. So then really a last note on how you're going to enjoy those, because our spritz, like our rules and regulations, you're going to pick up your scone, put your thumbs together. As I say, I made these ones last week, and you're going to
these are the practice
These are the ones that sat out all weekend. And then you're going to pull it apart. Now your hot warm scone, we might be able to show you in a minute, will pull better, but not good etiquette to cut it. You want to pull your scones apart. And they should all have that sort of natural crease around the edge, where they just lift and separate quite nicely. And perhaps for your board, you would pre-do that for your guests. And you could even put some of that cream cheese on those. So there's just 2 different ideas of how you can turn around that basic scone dough and make something really fun. So I think I'm just going to check ours in the oven, but I've got a feeling that they are not quite done.
Come on.
Look, and they're not quite done, but I do want to show you that Adrian's our little nipper turned out pretty cute. I don't know if you can see. Oh, that's hot.
Oh, good Lord.
Good Lord, they are not done, but can you see that the how much they're rising up, and just that little cheesy topping on there is going to be super nice.
Oh, those
they're not
smell
done,
so
but
good.
they're getting there.
They're already so tall too. Ooh.
Yes, doesn't that look fabulous?
Yes.
So good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't take credit.
And mine, my oven's not clean enough. You should really look.
Well,
at
I'll
it.
just look from back here.
But we can look. You can just see here that these ones are beginning to puff up, and they are going to be eclectic shapes. That is true.
Yes.
But they are going to be delicious, and
Yum.
we are definitely going to sit and enjoy those in a few minutes with a cup of tea.
Yes.
So I'm so glad you all came.
Yes, and
Thank you for joining me. I feel really special that you are all here. We are thrilled to be representing our church ministries for you, and hope that you can replicate something that you've seen today.
Yes, and if you have questions for us, I've learned not to wear black pants while rolling out the dough. Isn't it? It's hard not to just get covered in dough. And
Yes,
flour,
yes,
but
you're
luckily
right.
you're home and you can change and wash those out, hopefully, and the chili won't be quite so messy. Oh, I'm good. I'm getting to see my shaky camera work from a minute ago, but we hope that you'll tell us what you want workshops regarding. You know, we're planning on doing the sweet potato chili, but if you have a particular something in mind, let us know. You can mark it in the comments, or you can send a message to 50 Plus Ministries.
And we're looking at one or two children's ideas too, of how children can help in the kitchen, because it's so important for everybody to feel involved and everybody to have responsibilities. We all need, to help each other, and it does make you feel good about yourself to do something for someone else. And I think we all just need to do the best we can to work together. So we've got some fun ideas, maybe to make an ice cream, a smoothie, some kebabs for supper. So we are working on a plan to see what we can come up with for that too.
Yes, so thank you guys for coming out today. Don't forget to share a picture of us, a picture with us.
Yes.
Share a picture with us of
you.
your work
And you.
from today. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.